must realize you are doomed.
Come on in, everybody. Me and Rich are going to talk about House of the Dragon, Episode 3 review. So let's get it. Scoundrel Podcast, Dave and Rich here. Man, Episode 3 we just watched. Guess what? We finally got to see a familiar face. Well, not a face, a familiar sigil. We got a Lannister finally in here. I was wondering when we're going to see a goddamn Lannister here. And here we got these monkey asses finally. We got Tyland Lannister and Hassoon, or Jason, if you want to say Jason Lannister, Jason. But my little anyways. We got a Lannister up in here, man. And so basically Alicent Hightower, the queen, is having some difficulties with Rhaenyra, and so is the king. She's 17 years old now. We kind of jump ahead a couple years. What did you think about really that? Jumping. Actually jumping ahead. Did you like that they just kind of skipped I think it was like 2-3 years. I think 3 years they skipped ahead. Do you mind that?
I know it's necessary so they can get to what they need to get to, but it is kind of like sad because they are getting us attached to some of these actors that are playing these characters, right? And we all know they're going to change in a little bit. So it is kind of like bittersweet. But I know it's necessary. They got to get to the juiciest parts, and unfortunately, that means everyone's got to grow up, and years got to pass, and so it is what it is.
I just want to hit it off right quick. I enjoyed this episode. I'm not trying to say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed this episode, but out of the 3, I think this was probably the weakest for me out of the 3, just because I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't really interested as much. It was a slow burn a little bit, but it's okay because it's episode 3. We got 2 great, for beginning episodes already for this series. So, of course I wasn't let down. I was just saying I still enjoyed this episode, but this was just a little bit of a slow burn, which is fine, which is totally cool. We got a little bit more history, a little bit more characters coming involved. What did you actually like in the beginning part, with King Viserys going down, camping out, and, I guess they're like a sacrificial thing for Aegon, his son. What did you think about all that? Did you enjoy all that?
Well, like the beginning starts off, it automatically shows Daemon failing. Like, he's trying to do it on his own. He joined the Valyrian House Valyrian, and they're just failing at their at their attempt to clear off those crab eaters or whatever they call them, the crab eaters. So automatically time has passed and he's already failing at his very first attempt to be something or do something on his own and everything. So in this episode, the thing that I enjoyed the most was the fact that there was a lot more character building, character building. I felt like even at the end of the episode, whenever the writers and everything talk, they even say like the ending of this episode, it's how the character is going to go on for the rest of the season. Like this was a pretty important episode for like the rest of the season according to them, and I did enjoy it how like the characters developed in this one.
Yeah. Speaking about what you were just talking about, they were showing in the beginning with Daemon coming in with his dragon. Man, I love that damn dragon. It's such badass dragon, man. Yeah. I mean, seriously. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. He wasn't winning. They had to fall back. They're losing the war, basically. They're losing the battle. But then we get into King's Landing and everything, and Rhaenyra is acting like a regular teenage girl. Really? Yeah. I mean, I'm dealing with the same thing, if not even more, with my teenage girls right now. She's 17. She's being, defiant, snooty, whatever. But I get where she's coming from, though. She believes the writings are on the wall. And then when we get to camp, we actually see, Jason Lannister try to hit on her, saying, "Oh, you'll be great at Castle Lee Rock. I'll even make dragon pits." She's like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't have dragons. Why would you need a damn dragon pit? But she figured it out right away and was like, dude, why are you trying to hook me up with somebody? Why are you trying to betroth me already? And then
And
they're talking
Viserys
about
even
duties.
says, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He even says it's your duty to do
Yeah.
this. So
Speaking about duty, there was a little moment I had with Otto and King Viserys. When Otto, do you remember what Otto suggested who they should hook Rhaenyra with? You know who he did? He said,
yeah, I remember.
he said, what about Aegon? And he said, he's 2 years
So
old. Oh my god, that was a yuck moment for me.
that
I'm
was
like,
dude. I
dude.
had to like legit rewind it because I was like, okay, wait a minute. I definitely didn't hear that part right. I definitely
Right.
didn't hear that part. Let me rewind it and make sure that's exactly what he said. And he sure enough did say that. Otto Hightower is already my least like character. Like I already he already has a formula for hatred, to be hated,
Mhm.
just like Littlefinger we were talking about, I think in episode 1. He's already got that formula, man, and he sure is pulling it off because he's already the most hated for me. Like he
Right.
will not stop he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, to get his way. And he's over here trying to take advantage of a drunk king and trying to get him to accept that option. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, anyways, so the princess runs away, whatever, on horseback, and her handpicked Kingsguard,
Yeah.
Sir Crispin or Kristen, whatever.
Sir Crispy, yeah.
And yeah, so they have a little moment together, talking this and that. And I mean, what do you think about Rhaenyra's situation? Do you blame her for the way she's acting right now, or you're kind of like, what? She's just being a snob.
I don't blame her because all those months have passed. Whenever it happened in episode 2 where her, I think it's her aunt, right? The one that told her, said
Yeah.
the men will never let a woman take the throne. All
No.
these months have passed and it's just sitting in her head. So she sees the writing on the wall. And now that a boy was born to her father, she sees the writing on the wall. Even in the episode, she says, these people aren't here for me. They're not here for me.
Yeah.
No one's here for
Then
me. Yeah, no
right.
one's here for me. So I do understand where she's coming from. No matter how much Viserys tells her, you will not be implanted. You are my heir. This is the way it's going to be. Even in this episode, you see him fighting it.
Right.
He's fighting it in his head, like, what do I do? I don't know. He doesn't know what to do. And in this episode, I actually started liking Alicent Hightower, the one that he married,
Oh,
because
okay, the queen.
because she even says, like, she's not even 100% sure she wants her son to be the heir. Like there is even a part in the episode where she's like actually sticking up for
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. She's like sticking up for her, saying that that's she is the heir and everything. So and this, like, since episode 1, you can tell that she's just being controlled by her father. Like her father
Yeah.
is controlling everything, trying to get. He even says, like, you must convince the king to make to pick
Aegon.
Aegon to be the heir. So
Yeah, I guess you do kind of feel a little bit for Alicent Hightower because
yeah,
she's stuck in the middle where she's doing her duty in in this world, and at that time, daughters are supposed to do what their fathers say basically, and
yeah,
she's trying to do her duty as of out on her house, out of her household. And at the same time though, she's a woman, and she realizes, well, why is it that a woman can't be? But she also knows that Rhaenyra is a supposedly, I guess she has feelings where she knows she's a decent human being and
yeah. I mean, they
is
were
truthful and
friends.
everything. They were
They
friends.
were
So
best
she's like,
friends.
I think she kind of understands, yeah, that was a dick move on my part, screwing your pops and having 2 babies by this guy. I mean, anybody would. I don't. So, so I think she
Yeah.
does realize that
I
was a
think,
pretty dick move that she did for
yeah,
sure. But she was just following orders or following her duty.
yeah,
That's what they're talking about. Even the King Viserys is talking about duty. But
yeah,
yeah, Rhaenyra threw it right back at his face. It's like, you talk about duty, your duty and wise choice would have been Elena of Valera. You
Oh
would have
yeah,
married her for
Valera.
your stronghold,
Yeah.
but no, you decided to marry Allison, out of a whim.
Yeah.
And so he got her with that. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, more or less, talking about the woods and everything. I don't know what you got from it, but he was hunting the.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the deer right now. I'm gonna talk about more about what happened at the quarters at the camp, because there's people, giving their advice. You got the Lannister, Jason Lannister, giving advice about how he could take Rhaenyra and she'll be great over there with her. And then you got Otto talking some mad crazy shit about Aegon even, and
Yeah.
uh basically telling him, well, you're her father, you should tell her what to do. And the king and this and
Yeah.
that. But also, I don't know what that guy's name is. That fat guy,
Yeah, the fat guy.
the fat
I don't
ass.
know
I
either.
don't know. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea. I know I'm gonna get roasted, but I have no idea what that fat ass's name is. But he was actually thinking logically just a little bit. I mean, he even told him in episode 2, before he decided to marry Allison, that you need to go. It's going to help your king, your house, your head of household, to
Yeah.
marry Vanilla in the Veneria, because
Hmm.
they're the what am I saying? The most richest, I think it
Yeah,
is,
the
or high
riches.
value, the
Yeah,
richest
yeah.
house or whatever, and
Yeah.
everything. It just makes sense. It's part of your ancestry blood is in there because of the cousins and everything.
Hmm.
So and he was still making sense, because Viserys thought he was going to say one of his cousins or sons. I believe
Yeah,
he was
one of
going to
his
say.
sons is gonna be his
Yeah, and he was
son.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, fuck no.
He's like, you flatter me, my grace.
He said
But
you
no, no.
flatter me while eating a hostess. No, but I don't know why I slid that in there. I'm
No, but
sorry,
yeah,
folks.
this
Uh-huh.
episode does show like the stress that's put on the king right now. Like
Yeah,
everyone is like he can't get a moment to himself. He's
no.
just sitting there trying to enjoy his wine, and while everyone's just having a good time, and he just has people just coming up to him trying to convince him to
Dude,
make certain
yeah.
decisions. So
And there's still more people that we haven't even seen who are still in the back
yeah.
scenes, doing all these political moves. But that's why I believe in Damon when he's like, dude, you're too weak. 'Cause it feels like
Hmm.
he asked for way too much advice. You're
Way
the
too
fucking
much.
king. Do
Yeah.
what you think is right and what's best. But anyways, we'll go into the hunt. We see he was kind of like drunk, right? And he was into the campfire. And I like how, like you were saying, Allison, you actually kind of feel for her a little bit. She's trying her hardest to trying to please him as well, and trying to be adult-ish. I mean, I don't know how
Hmm.
old she is right now. She could have maybe her early 20s or late teens by now. I couldn't tell you, but she's
Yeah.
trying to you know I forget, like
Like console, console him.
console. I was
Yeah.
gonna say conceal, but that's a
Oh,
fucking weapon. I don't know why I was gonna say that. Conceal, console,
yeah, console her.
console the king. Yeah, to
Yeah.
console the king and everything, and and just to get to a little bit ahead at the end a little bit, she actually had the most viable advice to him about the war with the crab feeders and
Hmm.
Damon and all them. Was like, well, would you rather have the crab feeder win or lose? Which one's better for our kingdom?
See?
Boom.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like agreeing her. Like she was trying to make sense, and she did.
Yeah.
Whether she got that from her father a little bit, seeing how he works, but she was the only one that was kind of making sense a little bit here in this episode, which is weird because I was not expecting that. Um,
And her father hates Damon.
yeah.
So the fact
What
that
did you? Uh huh.
she, uh uh wanted, him to go help Damon. I mean, that's pretty you can tell
Yeah.
she doesn't want to do what her dad says. Like obviously she didn't want to marry the king. She was forced to. She's getting all this
Hmm.
stuff put on her, and none of it she wants to do. So
Right.
you do feel bad for her. So
Just a timeout. Are you wearing wired headphones?
yeah.
Boomer. That's what you get. Um,
Hey, my battery's done. What do you want me to say?
yeah, whatever. All right, folks. I'm just messing with you. But at the campfire though, what were your thoughts about that moment with the campfire? Because he actually kind of expressed to Allison about name how he expressed like the truth about why he named Rhaenyra heir. And then he had this dream about his son, and then Aegon is born. What did you think about him coming out and admitting that to the queen right there at the campfire?
I mean, that shows how much he's starting to trust her. Like he's spilling the beans to her about, like, big time visions that he had, about Rhaenyra and his fight in his heart about who should be the heir and everything. But that was like the time that I was saying that Alicent really showed her true colors. She gave him legit advice of what she thinks, of how she feels about who should be the heir and everything. So
right, exactly.
I really enjoyed that scene.
All right, so let's actually get into the hunt part finally. I don't know if it's just a symbol or whatever. I mean, I get it was like a sacrificial thing. They were looking for like a yellow white heart, on the stag, and that kind of remind me of Stannis Baratheon, because his flag was a white heart stag with the flames, and then the whole thing just I don't know if it means anything. I don't know if it's foreshadowing something or whatnot, but just because stags right away I think about Baratheons.
Yeah, obviously. Instantly.
So I don't know if it's foreshadowing anything. Do you think it's lightly foreshadowing something why they have their stags, or it's just because it's a stag, the king of the forest or whatever?
Well, they explained a little bit why the white stag was so important. It was like very symbolic in like history, and if you caught it, it was like very rare, so it meant good fortune. That in their eye, that's what they saw. But they ended up not even getting the white stag.
Yeah, they didn't get it
at all.
No.
So the creators even said that scene is supposed to show you where not Aegon, but Viserys saw, like, felt like maybe everything is not meant to be. So maybe it was a good thing they didn't find one, because they said if they found the white one and killed it, it was like a big honor for his son,
a for big omen about
for his son and everything. So he felt like, a kind of like relief that it wasn't the white stag and it was a brown one. So then he could stop like question himself a little bit. So yeah.
What did you think about him actually striking the stag though? I kind of felt bad after the first strike, and then he didn't even kill it yet. He had to stab it again. Like, oh,
you know what? I need to see like young Viserys, because right now he don't seem like a badass. He seems like the softest, Targaryen king out there, man. It's just he's just, I don't know. He doesn't give that king persona. Like whenever I forget his name, Baratheon, the king from the first one,
Robert
Baratheon, like he was a king, man. The way they made him look and everything, and this guy just doesn't give that persona.
Yeah, speaking about Robert Baratheon, you know what else was like a little I don't know, foreshadowing type deal. So the wild hog, right? Went after Sir Kristen and Rhaenyra. That kind of reminded me a little bit of, because that's what killed Robert Baratheon, was that hog.
That's what I thought about too.
Hog. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? Wait a second. But then she killed it. And that was so funny because they had this nice deer meat everybody's sacrificing, and here she comes in horseback into the camp. She says, "Oh yeah, well, well, I got some freaking carnitas, baby. You might have some deer meat, but I got some carnitas."
And that scene right there too with Rhaenyra, that showed like the anger she was holding back. Like she just just stabbing that thing. Like she was getting so much like emotion out in that one scene, like that she was holding back throughout the whole show so far. So
yeah, definitely. All right, so let's get into the good old ending part where
the juicy.
Yeah, the juicy where finally the King Viserys actually went to go send a messenger to tell Prince Daemon, hey, we're going to help you. We're going to have some fleets of whatever come help you out. Have some soldiers finally help you. So he came to his senses. Daemon was not happy. Freaking beat the shit out of the messenger. Like, wait a second. I'm just a messenger. But then you see him go on a rowboat and actually go to I guess that little island where the crab
feeders were.
Yeah, man. And what did you think about him surrendering? I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? Him surrendering, like, what's going on? What did you think about that whole fight type deal?
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Like whenever he was surrendering, in my head, my first thought was, wow, he despises his brother so much. Like he doesn't like
Yeah,
he doesn't want help. He'd rather surrender than get help from his brother. That's the
got
first
you.
thought I got in my head. But then as the scene started progressing and all this stuff, it started coming together, I was like, no, he's gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
And like you saw how much he snapped when he read that letter from his brother.
Yeah.
Like he snapped. He refused to get help. He wanted to prove that he can do it himself. And then whenever he goes there, man, it's just first of all, I thought it was gonna be a bit. I thought there was gonna like show some fighting between him and the king, like or him and the leader of the crab feeders. But
Yeah.
when he drugged that torso out, I was like, damn, dude, this is a whole different Damon right here, man. He
Yeah.
just sliced him in half. How'd you feel about
Dude,
that?
you know what? I knew he was gonna turn, and I knew it was just a little setup. But I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but you got these archers, right? And he's running through it, all the arrows and everything.
Freaking
I'm
stormtroopers all
thinking,
over again.
yes, I'm thinking these guys are stormtroopers, and it also came to me. All I kept hearing in the background. I don't know if you ever watched the movie, but all you hear it was in my head was Achilles, Achilles, Achilles.
Oh yeah,
From Troy. Like,
yeah,
what does
from
he think he's
Troy.
Achilles? Please, you know. But finally, he finally got
Man.
hit. Finally, I'm like, oh, okay, thank God. I was like, there's no way he can get through all those arrows like that. Come on, man.
Yeah, that
But
was
he finally got
ridiculous.
hit, and then you see him in trapped and everything. They're all about to get him, but finally you see the soldiers behind him and a dragon. Fire, burn them all, man. That was pretty cool. What did you think about that
Dude,
scene over
that
there?
dragon was awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you know the name of that dragon, but I love that like ashy color
Yeah,
dragon. Because that was one of the Valyrians, right? That's
yeah, yeah.
the oldest son.
Targaryens. Is it? Was it that who was writing? I have no
Yeah.
idea who was writing
It
it.
was the son of the sea snake.
Oh, really?
That's who it was. It was his eldest son.
Dude, I didn't even
That's
know that.
that's who the chubby guy that we were talking about was trying to get Rhaenyra to marry. Was him.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
and
okay.
he has a dragon. I thought that was crazy. I was like, oh, I thought it was just only
Mm,
Targaryens, but that dragon was awesome.
okay.
That whole scene was obviously the juiciest, best part of the episode.
Yeah.
Where I love seeing Damon just lose it.
You know what didn't work for me is I guess what you're calling it, the guy who was riding the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon.
All you heard was
Oh yeah,
Dracarys. I'm like, oh no.
it's
I'm
like,
like,
dude,
no, no,
where
no.
are your balls, bro? Dracarys, Dracarys.
I'm like, Rhaenyra and freaking Daenerys said
Yeah,
it way better
Daenerys,
than
way
you.
better.
Way better than you do.
Dracarys.
Dracarys. What the
Yes,
hell?
that part.
That
That's how
was
you know
like
that wasn't a Targaryen.
exactly. Yeah,
He's only
yeah.
half. He's only
Only a
half.
little, he's only a quarter. Shit. But man, I'm
That part was
like, what
bad.
the hell? I want to get into the well, he actually Damon finally kills the you see with the torso, man. He
Man,
fucked that
dude.
up. I wish we would have seen it though. I wish we would have seen
I
it.
know. That's what I wish. I
I
wish
was
we
a
would
little
have saw the fight.
disappointed in there.
I wish we would
But
have saw the fight.
I just wanted to pinpoint too a little bit something that I have noticed. Maybe I'm pretty sure everybody noticed now. I don't know if you noticed, but the head crab feeder guy.
Mhm.
That mask he had on or whatever he had on. Do you know
Yeah.
what that's from?
No, but it does look it's looked familiar since like
It's like
episode
all
one.
messed up and everything. Do you remember
Yeah.
in Marine, the Sons of a Harpy, those
Uh-huh.
assassins with those golden masks?
Oh
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
that mask is. It's all messed up and cut in half and everything. That's what that mask is. I'm
Wow.
like, wait a second, that mask looks so familiar. And I'm like, it's the Sons of the Harpy mask. Remember in Marine with Daenerys and everything? They're like they killed like
Yeah.
Sir Barristan and all that stuff and
Holy
type deal.
shit, it is. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah.
yeah. That's
Wow,
why
that's
noticed. I
crazy.
finally noticed on this last episode. Like, wait a second. I know where that mask is at. You slick son of a.
Yeah.
And then they said they were from the free cities. Now I don't know if this is a truth theory or not, though. It's just me
No.
overanalyzing, probably. But sometimes I'm thinking that maybe the Iron Bank is help funding this. because they're the ones who prosper out of war, because war costs money, and they got a lot of places need to be loaned money, and you know how Iron Bank, that's all they think about is the money. So I don't know if it's, that's where it's at, is from the free cities, I think, over there.
Crazy.
So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm probably overanalyzing everything like I normally do. But is there anything that you wanted to get on topic before we wrap it up here, buddy?
No, man. I just want to keep reiterating how much I love this show, and it keeps knocking out of the park. I know this episode you said was like your least favorite, of
the other three, but I still
out of the three.
it.
But yeah, I mean, that's how crazy it is. Like, this episode was still really good, and here wasn't even the best episode. So,
exactly. Yeah. And I'm loving how they're placing little Easter eggs for us just to remember. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel forced. It just feels, okay. It feels, I don't know. It just feels natural how they're putting these little Easter eggs to us to make our mind start going, or making that little squirrel in the wheel in our head to start moving a little.
And I'm excited for where the show's gonna go after seeing what the creator said at the end of this last episode, where they said, where you see the main characters, Rhaenyra, Viserys, and Daemon, are at the end of this episode. Like, the last times you see him in this episode, that's the road they're gonna go down. So I want to see how much crazier Daemon gets. Like I really feel like he flipped that switch. I really feel like
I don't know, because now the king has three people to decide who his heirs are. There's going to be so many people in his ear. It almost looks like there's a scandal coming up next episode. I don't know what that little preview they showed. Might be a little scandal coming up. Somebody's dishing out here, so we'll see what happens. But yes, I definitely enjoyed it. Another great episode. Can't wait for another one. I can't believe we're going to be on the 4th episode already next week.
I feel like we just
crazy. Time flies, everybody, when you're having fun. But everybody, please, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. We would truly appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please help us out and get us to 500 subscribers and hit that subscribe button. We truly appreciate it. And everybody, you can also check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Scoundrel Podcast. If you want to listen to somebody, listen when you're working out, or you're just driving home, or whatever you're doing. Go ahead and check us out on that if you don't have time to check us out on YouTube. David Rich, this has been episode 3 review of House of Dragons. Take care, everybody. Peace.